Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here to show you how easy it is to make your own homemade brown sugar. Yes, you still need sugar to do this, and just so you understand, the reason I started doing this was because finding a good organic brown sugar for a decent price was really difficult. But years ago, I started making it once I learned how, because it was so much cheaper to do and I could have it whenever I needed it. I already have a big bucket of molasses because that's the other ingredient you need. It's just 2 ingredients, and your organic cane sugar. You can use coconut sugar, but I still recommend for this, if you're wanting to use it in recipes, cookies, breads, whatever it is that require brown sugar, I recommend getting a good organic cane sugar, not beet sugar, not just plain white sugar, organic cane sugar, and then some good organic molasses, non-sulfured molasses. So that's what I have here. And I had, years ago, I bought a big old 60-pound bucket from Glory Bee, so I still have quite a bit of it. And, you know, it's going to take me probably the rest of my life to work through it, if ever. So it's really, really simple to do. Now, usually when I need brown sugar, I'll just whip this up when I need it. I used to make it up ahead of time and just have it ready. But now I prefer to just, like if I'm making my cowboy cookies and I use brown sugar and that, I'll just make it when I go to make the cookies or the cinnamon rolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 cups of the sugar so I can fill up my little pint jar here with it. And it's roughly 1 tablespoon of molasses for every cup of brown sugar you're going to make. You can increase or decrease that amount depending on how dark you want your brown sugar. And this is the other beauty of making it yourself, is the fact that you can decide just how dark or light you like your brown sugar and add accordingly. So if you're doing this for the first time, I would say start with maybe half a tablespoon per cup, and then mix it in really well, and then find out if that looks like the way you would like it. Maybe even take a taste and see if it tastes the way you want it to taste. So let me go ahead and get started on this. And I have a little better than 2 tablespoons here, so I just wanted to make sure I had plenty. I went and got it out of my bucket. So I'm going to add, I've got 2 cups of the sugar. You can use a regular wire whisk. I prefer using a big fork like this, serving fork, because it's heavier duty than a wire whisk, but I would think a bread whisk would work well too. I haven't tried it with mine, but I'm going to stick with my fork. And I'm just going to take a big old tablespoon and start drizzling it around in there. So you can see what I'm doing. And this is how I like to add it. And then start mixing it in well. Now, one option you can consider to make this go faster is using an electric mixer, possibly even a blender. I wouldn't use my blender for this. And then having a silicone spatula on hand to make sure you're getting all that goodness off there is also a good option. And you can see that was a pretty good size spoonful. So this will probably end up being pretty dark on its own without even adding more. But knowing me, I will add more. So anyway, this is going to take me a while to blend this in. I'm going to go ahead and add another spoonful. And then I will speed this up as I go so you don't have to wait for so long. So you can see what the end product is going to look like. So if you have a hard time getting your clumps to break up really well with whatever you're using, once you get to this point, you can take your hands and start mixing it this way. And then once you get everything broken up really well, because sometimes what will happen when you pour that molasses in there, no matter how thinly you drizzle it, you'll get clumps that you might have a hard time breaking up. But using your hands, just like I like to do when I'm making a pie crust or biscuits, I use my hands to break up the fat, because that is usually the easiest way to go. So using both hands, you just simply go like this. Same method I use for making pie crust and working that fat, the butter and the palm shortening into the crust. So, and if you're interested in any of those recipes, I'll link back to the gluten-free one. The method I use as far as fat is the same as for non-gluten-free. So I'll link to that pie crust recipe below. Okay, well, I still actually have a few little tiny clumps in there. You can even take a spatula and kind of smash it. That works good too. But I just want to go ahead and finish this video up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead And then I'm going to take my little canning funnel here and dump this in there. And this is pretty dark. I don't usually make it quite this dark, but it tastes really, really good. And the nice thing about just making a little bit at a time, or only making what you need at a time, is that you really don't have to worry about the storage of it. Though, back when I would make, like, I think sometimes I would make as much as a quart at a time. I really had very little problem with it. I did that jar really full. I had very little problem with it clumping or going bad or getting hard like the store-bought kind does. And then I just put my lid on here. Now, these are actually craft lids, but what I do is I actually coat the inside of them with beeswax to make them food grade. You can also put, as long as it covers the whole inside of the lid, you can also put like a silicone top on there. That would definitely help keep any moisture out of there if you're concerned about that. But also you can put a canning lid inside there. Just like a metal canning lid's going to fit in there better, and it will fit right in there. But anyway, that easy. And then you'd use it just the way you would use in any recipe, you know, a 1-to-1 ratio. So if the recipe calls for a half cup, you use a half cup, just like that. Simple. It's the hardest part is just the mixing and getting it mixed in evenly. Other than that, you can always have brown sugar ready to go. Even if you run out and it's an emergency and it's like, oh, I don't have any, then just mix them up and you're ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.